Silent Hill 4: The Room, the most underrated Silent Hill game of all time, that even Konami abandoned. The fourth installment in the Silent Hill survival horror series, Silent Hill 4: The Room, was released by Konami Computer Entertainment and developed by Team Silent. On September 17, 2004, it was released in North America for the PlayStation 2, Xbox and PC. In 2012 and 2013, the Japanese version of the game was published digitally on the PlayStation 3 in Hong Kong, Japan and Indonesia respectively. In October 2020, the English-language PC version received a broader re-release with bug fixes. The fourth game marks a shift from the series' spooky psychological horror to the wannabe titles that follow. Silent Hill 4: The Room isn't a quintessential survival horror game, and it's not as action-packed as the other Silent Hill games. Despite this, it is not a title to be taken lightly, and has a lot more to offer than what initially meets the eye. Storyline and design overview. Silent Hill 4 Explored. You play as Henry Townsend, an ordinary guy who moved into the Room 2 years before the game begins. The Room is in a typical apartment building in South Ashfield, very near the feared hamlet of Silent Hill. The game begins with Henry waking up from a nightmare he has been having since the past few days, during which he dreamed that he had been trapped in his room. However, he soon discovers a hole in his bathroom and figures he has nothing to lose by entering it. Silent Hill 4 then transformed into a beautifully twisted, action-packed survival horror game filled with the fiercest monsters. You will, however, be constantly returning to the room. It deteriorates as you continue, and because all portals from the other world lead to the room, part of the fun is observing how it changes, what fresh incidents occur in it, or what other new leads you may discover. For example, you may peek through the peephole in the front door and scream all you want, but your neighbors, landlord and pleasant next-door neighbor Eileen will not be able to help. You're trapped. The game's aesthetics are fantastic. The fog is still there at times, along with film grain and cigarette burns, giving it the appearance of an old film rather than a game. The character models are really well drawn, and the death scenes look fantastic with all of these visual effects in place. The fighting is conventional but more complex than in previous titles of the series. If you avoid fighting as much as possible, you'll never have to worry about losing your health. If you are caught up in a battle when you should be running, your health will quickly deteriorate. The best choice is always to keep moving. Beyond the occasionally patchy fighting, the game runs well, and the controls are far more accurate than in the previous Silent Hill games. The music in the game is fantastic. Acoustic instruments are used to perform songs of naivete. There are other songs with overt themes of grief and loss. The delicate acoustic touch established in SH2 has been carried out here with outstanding style and versatility by musical director Akira Yamaoka. It's beautiful. Why is Silent Hill underrated and why it deserves a special mention? As we move ahead to talk about why this game is so special and why it is now forgotten, we would like to request our viewers to please like and subscribe to our channel for your daily gaming content. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Silent Hill 4: The Room is one of those titles that stands out as a significant development over its predecessors in the series. From level design to character models, from gameplay mechanism to VFX and SFX, The Room really delivers on every front. The game introduces a few major changes in its overall approach and treatment. Ghosts, the undefeatable souls of Walter Sullivan's victims, are one of the most significant additions. The spirits can harm Henry by emitting a harmful aura that can be neutralized by holy candles and saint medallions. More differences from the previous games include the lack of a flashlight and radio, but Henry has a stereo that notifies him when a ghost is around. He uses a torch to explore dark reservoirs to discover the parts of a burnt doll and other creepy environmental elements that build the player's inventory. The makers intended transformation and unique to be the focus. Therefore, some of the unusual gameplay mechanics and changes, such as Room 302 as a central space, were introduced. Though experimental in nature, they proved to be successful in the end, making Silent Hill 4: The Room a welcome addition to the rest of the series. While this game has a lot of points that veteran gamers and critics alike would want to make negative remarks about, it still feels like a fresh addition to the Silent Hill series. Forgotten and abandoned by Konami, The Room remains lost in their archives as one of the hidden gems of survival horror.